Yeah. No, Xian, you can really penetrate quite easily, like
Dynasty Cardcast, where I am presenting our show of letting you guys see new cards and learning about cards. And I've got Nick here and I've got Xian here. And the reason I'm speaking so fast is because we've already recorded this episode, but turns out my mic was not working. So we are now re-recording this episode. So Nick, introduce yourself, then Xian, introduce yourself, and we're going to go straight on to our first card.
Hi, I'm Nick. I'm a Dynasty ambassador. I've been playing the game since the first introductory event at Geek Street Birmingham, where I came along, played the game. It was a lot of fun. So I'm here now to talk about these cards and talk about why Xian is so bad.
Okay, we don't have to go straight into the Xian history. Okay, come on, let's not go there straight away. Xian.
My name is Ryan. I'm a senior rep for Dynasty TCG. I've been with Dynasty TCG since the first demo event in Birmingham Geek Tree, where I first met Nick and Hinchy. And yeah, ever since I've been playing the game, I've very much enjoyed it. And here I'm just going to talk about the cards, how I love Xian.
Okay, we have now established that we have got a Xian Glazer and a Xian Hater. So, let's get into the first card, which is not Xian. When? You guys will get that in the future. Anyway, let's start things off.
Nick, do you wish to start? Because this is your favourite card.
You know what? You're going to start. I'm going to comment on all the things you've said wrong.
Okay. First of all, she's an
You're already wrong.
Okay. Why is she an A?
Just get out.
She's an A cost, right? Her level up is so hard to do if you don't commit a lot to it. And it's yeah, she's a big beast stick, but it takes too long for her to kill something. To level up, so she ends up getting killed in the end. So, me personally, it's just as well, she is a decent champion in the end if you play her correctly, but you have to be a much better player to actually use the card. So what do you think, Nick? Am I wrong?
So, it sounds like you're calling me a good player and you're calling yourself a bad player, is all I'm hearing.
Yes.
When I think is an amazing card, an 8 stat line is a good number to have. Well, sorry, an 8 resource cost is a great number to have because, in my opinion, in the game, being in multiples of 4 is your magic resource number because so many things are good at 4 or 2 to the point where that resource line is your magic number. So you start with 10, so going 12 or 14 is always going to be your ideal number. So you can play a when, and then you can play a 2 and a 4, or you can play 3 2s. So having that resource cost is a nice line to be at. Its 5/7 stat line is great because it can deal with all the squishies early game, and it can deal with most medium-sized bodies. There aren't many bodies that solo survive against your when. Off the top of my head is Wen and Xian that survive off it. And being 7 defense, you can pair it with Heavenly Peach, you can pair it with your shields, your simple shields, and you can reinforce. So there are so many ways. You don't you should be making a deck build around it. Even if you don't play all these items to specifically support Wen, you can just generically reinforce, which will help you reach that level up condition, which then will give you a big swing later on in the game.
I think you're kind of right in that sense, but it's when you build a deck around just Wen, and then she gets taken out, it's now what? It's
yeah.
It's well, now what? Well, now she's gone. Well, now I've got all these cards that just don't do much, do I?
I mean, but to be fair, I think when you're building a Dynasty deck, I know we're getting into this, but you shouldn't build it around a champion because there's only realistically 2 copies of it in your deck, or maybe 3. And you're not going to always hit that with how little card draw there is currently. So you shouldn't be specifying your build around a card. You should be playing the cards to complement it, but make them generic enough that it can complement anything in your deck.
That's actually a really
that's fair. That's fair.
Players, because obviously with Wen, her stat line of 5/7 strength is pretty good, but people need to understand that they need to protect the hell out of her if she is to reach that level up condition of killing 3 units, which is just long and crazy. So what do you guys think of that?
Yeah, no, you do have to like utilize a lot of your resources just so she stays on the field. It's a lot of committal, but I think in the end it'll work out. But in my opinion, it's just like it's too much committal to the card. It's like if you have to commit that much to the card, then it's not really worth playing. Where it's like other things in the game you can just kind of spread your resources out a bit more effectively rather than just focusing on defending just the one card.
Although I agree, I still will fall under the way of it, like, because I think the 8 resource line is like the biggest takeaway from me here. Because you can then stack it with squishier bodies that are your 2, so you can like play 2 snow golems for 12. There's just so many lines because it falls into that even resource count that make it just easy to play with and play around. Like, for example, let's say your starting hand, you have your Wenho, and then you have either a 4 that you're going to discard off, or you're going to have another Wenho. Like, because there are times where I've just drawn 2 Wenhos, and I'm like, okay, although I'm not going to play them both realistically straight away, I could trade one off, and it's 18 resources on my first turn. I play my Wen, I'm on 10. I go for something like there's quite a lot of things I can do. I'm just getting the card database so I don't mess any names up real quick. Why is nothing coming up? Hold on. 2 seconds. You can get... What's the... Alright, Ray, I can't find this. You're going to have to help me. What's the card that you get 2/2 costs called?
Fresh recruits.
Fresh recruits, yeah.
Fresh recruits, thank you. So you can do fresh recruits, and then that's 8 in total. So you're playing 16 for the when your fresh recruits, and then playing your 2/2s, and then you can play another 2, and that's just your 18 rounded up. Or you can do something like, I believe it's Cool Up, that's such as a 4 or less, which then you can go into a Blooming Recruiter that searches your Blooming Archer. Although you don't get to play the Archer, you still will have a body ready for next turn whilst having 2 bodies on board, so it creates some nice resource and early game plays off of just this resource cost alone.
Yeah, no, I kind of agree with him. Yeah, no, can't really argue with that one, can I? When you get maths, yeah.
We're not a math show, Nick. Come on, no. We're here to talk. We're here to argue, and we're here to create some drama.
Let me pull up a graph.
No, I agree with that. Like, it's definitely it really depends on people's player personalities. I think if you like to go for those tanky plays, then like, and not true tanky, but if you want to go for that aggressive like play where you can kind of balance your health and stuff and really protect her until she gets that level up, it is good. But for me, I always find it's a bit daunting because most decks that people build around her, it's only to build around her. And when like as Rayan said, once she's gone, your piece of the puzzle is a pretty scattered puzzle. So unless you're protecting her, your deck's null.
Which I then also think just falls down to your deck building. I think a lot of these cards are gonna that we always talk about.
Is that I'm just bad.
No comment.
I agree.
My current public record is I've lost every game. So,
but yeah, I think that Wen is a really good card in general. Hinchy is good losing with Wen, but I think it's good in total.
So, boys, 5-star ranking. 5 being incredibly busted and you would marry this card, and 1 being so terrible but you would also play with this card because it's funny. Where are we ranking? Wenho.
Since she's your favorite,
I'm gonna put this card at a solid 4 to 4.5.
Damn.
damn.
Yeah.
Damn.
I'm my
close to marriage, bro.
I'm too young. I'm too young.
He's got the wedding planned in his head already.
No, I think this card is really good. Even to be honest, even if you don't actually play it, just having the 18 resources is nice. 17 if you get tax on once, 16. I mean, yeah, like
when home.
the versatility is a key point of the card. Because you're not always going to have the situation where you just want to play it into that one lane. You're going to have situations where you need to diversify and switch into multiple different lanes. So that's where a big card comes in, where you can just sell it off and just stack up your little squishies that your opponent isn't always going to be able to deal with.
I'd say I'd give this card like a 3 to 3.5. Nick is, yeah, I think I'd say more, I'm leaning more on the 3.5, mainly because of its stats. Right, it's just a tanky card, but you have to, in my opinion, it's just you have to commit too much. You have to. There's too much commitment in the relationship with her. It's too much. Nick, maybe Nick can do it. Maybe Nick can do it. I can't afford that. You know, like that's too much for me personally.
Is
so
a one simp? Have we got a one simp here?
No, I would never call myself a simp. Just a simple enjoyer.
Of one.
Yeah, that's good. But yeah, I think 3.5 is fair in my opinion.
Yeah, I think my opinion. I'm gonna actually give my opinion in this recording. I think between 3.5 to about 4, like somewhere there. I think she's good enough for people to actually have good fun with her, but she's not strong enough where I would want to make her the main centerpiece of my deck. And like that's why.
Can I ask him to?
People will understand one day if I fix this. Okay, so we have a 9 cost, 6 strength, 7 health, 2 range, with the ability of once per turn, targeted unit for this card's attack must take 1 damage for battle. Continue.
Nuts. That's what I'm gonna say.
Nuts.
Nuts. So let's start 2 range. Insane. 6/7. Insane. Right. Huge stat line. Huge stat line here. Just absolutely huge stat line.
Can
going up
right now. Do you know what I thought when I saw Nick just do that? He reminded me of like Donald Trump being like, yes,
huge. God, Nick. Can't escape it now.
By the way, Hinji, are we recording?
Yeah.
Still. Okay. Yeah, no, card's just great. What can I say? Making you lose a damage for every battle gets around Heavenly Peach. You're essentially swinging for that 7. If it's not a Peach, so you're dealing with everything in the game. I believe base everything.
Yep.
So it's just a huge stat line, huge tank, and then although I have just made the whole point about the mathematical evens being the best resource line to be on, having that 1 can always be handy for like your odd cards, because there are odd cards in the game, like your why is my brain going blank? Your sword recruits is amazing. Your taxmans are free. There are so many cards that cost 3 or like 1 that will fall under that resource line, so you can also benefit off having 9, because going turn 1 having 19 resources is also going to be just absolutely insane.
Yeah, no, I think with this card I actually agree with Nick. Yeah, although I don't like when. Let's get that out of the way. Don't like when. I think just art wise, I think it's amazing. So shout out to them. Range is really important as well. 2 range is actually very good. It is really good. It's tanky. It is tanky. It is 6/7. Right, it is massive. Right, it's killing nearly anything. It's killing basically anything. And then obviously her effect. It's like if something is like a 1 cost in the lane, yeah, goodbye, and it's swinging for 6 directly.
Bye bye.
It's bye-bye. It's gone. Right? That's why I think the card just like is really good for offense, in my opinion.
I guess it's my time to shine in this conversation. I think once people realize that if you are able to level up that really, really terrible base champion, you get such a huge payout. Because, as Nick said, the range is 2 range, right? And that is really, really huge. And especially if you're dealing with people playing like low costing, like low range decks, because it's cost effective for people to play and it's more spammy. But if you have a 1 and then you can snipe behind and deal with the more supportive cards that people play with, like Veteran Hay or Fortune Teller or Taxman, then you break up those lower costing strategies that people have, and it becomes so much more efficient for breaking those down. Like, yes, it's hard to get, but once you get it, that one-shot capability of Gwen is just so powerful, because you're dealing 6 to 7 damage off the support of Veteran Hay, or it's doing 6 damage by itself, but potentially you're going up to about like up to 10 damage with another supportive card in the lane. So she can be a huge powerhouse and really good for lane removal, like basically zero cost lane removal, which is like I think people overlook on the battle champion.
Yeah, I think it's a good card because it's a great design.
Now, based on that, ranking time. Where are we ranking this, boys?
I don't know, because it's like I've got to also take into. Are we just? I gotta take into account the level up as well. So it's like, my opinion, it's like a 3.5 to a 4 again.
I was gonna say this is a 4 to 4.5. I would struggle to put it at 4.5 there. There's a brief world I put it at 4.5. I think 4 is fair for this card.
Yeah.
It is just so good. You can't deny how good this card is.
She's a one-shot babe, you know. She goes in there.
Oh, why would you say that? Oh, why would you say that? Oh.
This is Nick's one-shot babe.
I'm quitting the podcast. I retire.
But no, her ability is good. It's just that, are you able to earn that ability? Are you able to get to her to that point where she can do that? It's entirely up to the player. It depends how you revolve around the deck. But yeah, anyway, I'm bored of talking to her. Let's get to the main thing. Like, handsome, amazing, like, greatest. Like, there are not enough adjectives to describe the heavenly experience I have when looking.
Marvelous, beautiful, stunning, elegant.
Literally, I will lie here and just embrace all of Xian.
Don't worry. Too late for this.
Okay, we've got a 7 cost, 1 range, 4 strength, 7 health, with the level up condition of when this unit is defeated in battle whilst defeating an enemy unit.
Go on, Rayon, this is yours.
Yes, this card, right? This card's insane. In my opinion, I think this is probably it's one of the best cards in the game.
In the history of card games ever.
Yes, in just entire history, everywhere, it's just the best thing, right? First of all, it's cheaper, right? So you have to spend as much, my god, right? Honestly, who spends 8 these days when you can spend 7?
No,
In this economy.
I'm pulling up a graph. I'm pulling a graph up. Those cards are even cost Rayon.
The level up is insane. The level up, it's so quick and it's so easy to do. You can trade off anything. If you swing into something and then your opponent has to be like very wary of how to swing into Xian again, because Xian's a 4 strength, So when it swings back, it's most likely going to kill something else, right? And then it's also going to die, and then it's going to come back with its level up, and that level up is insane, right? And so that's why I think you can play a lot more aggro with this, and that's the thing that I like more about this card than I think about anything else. It saves you a lot of time, and you can build a lot of tempo in the game where you can place it down, and you can play any other like 3-cost, right? Like Bloomin' Recruiter, right? Is a 3-cost, and you search for Bloomin' Archer, and then you have your next turn plays, and then you still have this card on board. So that's why I think it's very, very, very good in my opinion. You have a lot of trade-off value from it, and its stats prove its worth, and obviously its cost in this economy. Go on, Nick. Anything to add?
So I'm just doing math real quick. Give me 2 seconds. Okay, so there's out of the current 44 cards in the game, 24 of them are even cost, and 20 of them are odd cost. Right. So mathematically, when we're breaking down a card's resource cost, having an even cost instantly makes you better for the trade value as well as playing it, because when you're playing your 7, you're left with 3, which not many of the cards are free cost, or if you're adding on to your trade, not many are going to be odd cost if you're adding an even to your odd to keep it as an odd, right? So mathematically, having an even costing card is just better because it allows you to feed into your lines a lot more.
Let me put this scenario on the field, right? I now have 3 taxmen. How are you bringing out when?
Well, because I just trade a card off.
But if you had a Xian in your hand, what would you do?
Well, yeah, but you hold on. Okay, hold on. You're giving me a very, very niche scenario that's very easily outable because Taxman is not a very good card. That's not going to be very common because not many people run that very bad card. Like,
get to him
for the tax package.
Oh yeah.
Hold on. You're also putting it into my head that you're going to see all 3 of these copies so quickly, right? 3 cards out of your big deck that you're not going to see that quickly. Yeah, but it's 50 to 60, right?
Yeah, 50 to 60.
So if you run 50, it's a 1 in 17 almost. Pretty much, it's a 1 in 16.8, but like.
For the purpose,
he
is cheaper, and cheap is good. We like cheap. We like
in this economy, we need cheap.
Yeah, and not just cheap. The ability is so quick to get.
Okay, but right. You say it's cheap, but it's cheaper by 1. And sometimes when you're going, if you're playing your 7,
1 makes all the difference.
Hold on. No, 1 also doesn't make a difference a lot, alright? Because you're playing it for 7, you go down to 3. I would sometimes you're just going to play your snow golems, you have that 1 floating, but oh no, you could just play your Wen and play your 2, then it makes a magic number.
You would play a Xian, and then you can play a veteran Hay. That's a perfect 10, but not just that. Even if you did a 7-2 and then you're left with 1, hey, you could retreat a sword recruit, and that's a powerful play.
Powerful card, man. Honestly.
Wait, hold on. Cards are 5 now because of that.
Exactly. Besides from all the jokes, that ability to level up, it's an ability. It is literally another ability because it's a regenerative ability. He dies and then he gets to come back to life. Whereas if Wen dies, she ain't coming back to life. Xian has that out. Wen doesn't have the out. That's the secret, I think, that's tipping him slightly more. And
his value.
His value.
Yeah. So much value.
Yeah, but like you can play the game to be aggro for Xian, or you can play the game to be tempo based and control based with Wen-Ho.
Wen.
Like, it's just how you build your deck. It's how you optimize it. Every player will have a different strategy. That's why I'm more pro Wen-Ho. That's why Rayon's pro Shen.
But also being pro Shen, it allows you can be very defensive with him as well. Because imagine you're using him to reinforce, right? You use him to reinforce a few turns, and then he's low enough for you to one-shot to hit that ability. You then flip the script, where you've now built up all your defensive lines, and now you have a super aggro battle champion, where you then reinforce him, and then switch your ability from a defensive game to super aggro. Whereas when she's kind of like throughout the game, where Shen is like, woo, woo, woo.
I feel with your argument with the reinforced start, that's very easily outed by quite a lot of things, because if there's nothing reinforcing that Shen, then it becomes quite if you have anything with 2 range, I'm an open target. And 7 is a heavy retreat cost. Like, you're not going to retreat these champions. That's one thing that, like,
it's cheaper than 8.
Cheaper than 8, yeah, no, it's cheaper than 8.
But I need to put it into your head, like, keep this in mind. If you're at the point where you're retreating a champion, you're so far behind on tempo, because you're essentially wasting almost a turn of resources to then take a card out of the game for another 2 turns just to protect it. And at that point, the opponent's bouncing back really quickly. They're seeing that and they're going, alright, I'm slamming a whole board of things. What are you doing?
Yeah, I guess it's like, well, I mean, realistically, you're not going to be retreating your champion. That's the one thing. If you're retreating your champion, that's already a bad play, in my opinion. No, I'd rather let Shen die than retreat him.
I think it depends on the scenario, because there are situations.
You're not just going to let him die, but that's a completely off-topic thing.
I'd rather let him die, because I can find another one. I'll just get another one, it's fine.
That is true. You can have up to 3.
Yeah. You can have up to 4, actually. If you don't play the level up.
Yeah.
No.
Well, no. Because no. Just no. But anyway, back to your point.
No, that was pretty much it. The 4/7 line is also kind of like, because like, sure, when we get into the level up, it's carrying that offensive oomph, but 4 is just like, it's not 5. It's not Wen-Ho.
Good on.
Yeah, but like, if we break down the base champion to base champion, right? I'm paying 1 extra resource for 1 extra attack. And if we look at the card economy and like look at the average resource to stat line, that's quite a good conversion. If we like really deep it, because I'm looking at quite a lot of the cards, and it's a 2 resource for 1, or you're doing like 4 resources for 2. Like, sure, there's like some of them will have effects, but if we're looking at raw stats, then you're gaining quite a good. It's quite a good stat advantage for that 1 extra cost.
Well, having said that, let's segue into the ratings. Nick, what is your rating for Shen?
You've got to keep in mind that I'm going only on the base champion. I'm going to give this card a 2.5 to a 3.
What the hell?
Get him out the court. Get him out the court.
No, so
On Earth.
like, sure, you have just your 7 defense is my only redeeming factor on this card right now, as the base alone. Sure, it has potential to level up, but I'm not talking about that. We're talking about just the base card here, right? Like,
I'm going to stop you right there. Do you know what that sounds like? It's like if you eat a full English breakfast, right? And then you rate it based on only the mushrooms. And you're like, great. This tastes like 2.5 star mushrooms. So the entire package is terrible.
I hold on, no, because I'm doing the bacon with the cost. I'm looking at the sausages with the range. I've got like the toast and the egg with the attack and defense, right? Like I'm looking at the big picture here. I'm looking at how they mesh as well. Like I'm looking at how I'm gonna scrape up my beans to the toast at the end once I've finished. Right? Like I'm looking at everything here. Right.
Okay.
That's not
And you're giving this 2.5 to 3.
I would probably argue the 3, but it's like 2.5 would be like 2.5 to 3 is where I'd put it.
All right. Right.
Yeah. This is like a 4.5 for me. This is a 4.5. It's not a 5. It's not perfect. Okay, it's not perfect. 10 out of 10. You know, marvelous. What it is.
You both can leave the call now. Just kidding.
But I think it's a 4.5. I think it's like I agree with what Nick says. It's like, well, mathematically, yeah, whatever, right? No one cares. But it's like it's just like it's a really good card. It's not game breaking. Let's be honest. It's not game breaking. It's just a really good champion. It's got lower costs. It's got nearly the same stats. Granted, it's a 4 strength, but whatever, right? You can always put units behind it. You know, you have other cards available, and its level up is just really easy to do, unlike Wentz. And that's why I just put it at a 4.5.
Yeah, no, I agree. I would say 4.5 to be conservative, but the way to just the speed of it, the playability of it, the handsomeness of it, it just makes it so amazing. And people should just agree that you could have this as a standalone card in any deck, and it would be beneficial. You won't have to build around it, because once you hit that level up, that's when you get that juice. You get that big juice from his level up.
Yep.
I don't like this. I'm uncomfortable.
I'm uncomfortable.
Where's my parental guidance?
Okay, now, having said that, let's move on to the battle champion.
Alright, I'm gonna start this one. Okay. I think this card is good. I will say this card is good. Game recognizes game here, right? You're seeing it can swing twice in the same lane, so on its own that's swinging for 8. It's a 7 defense, so it is quite tanky. Sure, it's not Wen-Ho, because Wen-Ho is just amazing with, well, I mean, it's a 6/7 Wen-Ho, but like...
She's a one-shot babe. That's why. Anyway, continue, Nick.
I don't think I want to anymore. No, Xian is a good card. I will say it does fall under the 9 resource, the odd resource hell, I'll call it.
Can you stop hating
which
odd resource cards? What is your...
Well, I've brought out the math. There's a 24-20 split, right? So theoretically, there's more even cards than there is odd. So having even is just being better right now. Like that's just all it is.
But being odd is more rare, and rare is better.
Yeah, everyone should be seeking the ascendant rare. Yeah. But yeah, no, I think the 9 cost is like good, but it's also bad because it's odd. But like having that much is always nice at the start of the game to have an aggression, or it's nice in the mid or late game just to try and bounce back. 1 range is a downside. Wen has 2, so 1's always better. To snipe them like backwards bodies. Xian can't deal with things like fortune tellers. Xian can't deal with taxmen if they're being protected by anything. So that is kind of a downside. The swinging twice in the same lane is always good because it means that you can diverge into 2 separate lanes. You can have your Xian swinging in one lane, you have a range of bodies swinging in the other lane, so your opponent has to pick which one to do, and then whichever one they don't choose to deal with, you get to capitalize on and make it as big as you can to really steal the game.
But the thing is, I quite agree with Nick here. It's like with Xian, it's, well, the level up at least. No, he's very aggro. He's very, very aggressive. Swinging twice in the lane is massive because if you just equip a simple sword and have a veteran hay behind him, that's how much damage is that? Like, I don't know maths, so I'm not gonna think. So he just does a big number, right? And it's really good because it can also clear lanes as well. So it's like if you have if your opponent has like a unit in the front and then a unit in the back as well, it can kill the first card and then swing into the second card as well, right? And the reason why I really like this champion as well is the fact that if you swing this champion twice and it dies, but then you have another Xian on the field and that dies as well, you can just bring the other one back and it's swinging twice again. Right, it's swinging twice again. It's doing so much damage in the turn, right? That it's so aggressive, and it pairs really well with its base champion, just because of how fast it is to get it out, and having that tempo of being able to go, oh, okay, cool, I'm still on 50 health. You're suddenly on 20 health because Xian just goes goodbye health, right? Like, you're taking so many punches to the face that it's hard to keep up, and the fact that you can sling it into one other side of the lane, and you can have it on the other side of the field as well, where you can have one Xian on one side of the field and then your other board on the other side, and you can pair these things up where your opponent now has to think about two sides of the board where they have to either deal with the big pile of cards or the Xian that's swinging for 8 every turn.
Yeah, no, that's the benefit of him and his really girthy attacks. Sorry. No, I was just looking at because it is and you
No, I don't think you can justify
Please restart the sentence, please.
his really thick attacks. Because no, you don't get it. It's because
I sadly do get it.
You're spreading so much damage in that one blow. When max, if you're lucky enough, right? Let's say mid game, you're going for about you're doing, let's say battle champion, you're doing 6, and then you're adding another, let's say 3, so you're doing 12 in one swing. But if you're able to add the same supportive units behind Xian and then boost him up, you could get 20 in one shot.
Yeah, you can.
And that is just insanely deadly, especially once he levels up. If he dies and then he levels up and then you shift it, if you shift units onto that same lane, he can then unite an attack off that health, right? So then you won't be taking any negative damage because you've already just defeated the thing that's right in front of him. Now you have an open lane to just shoot your shot in. And the benefit of having that 2 attack is that if you do have those supportive units, you are forcing people to use those units to reinforce whatever they're protecting. Or if they're not, then they have to sacrifice the thing that you're attacking first. So it puts more pressure on what they want to do. Whereas once you reinforce, battle's over. Whereas with Xian, once you reinforce, battle will still continue because he has that ability. And it's a bigger trade-off because he is always attacking, whereas if someone's reinforcing, they're not doing damage back. So that would be a free kill.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I agree. I agree with what he says. It's just a lot more aggressive in the end. You just get a lot more value and a lot more tempo off of it.
Yeah, no, you can
commit more.
The risk that you're taking because you have to sacrifice it.
Yeah. No, Xian, you can really penetrate quite easily, some
Why?
Okay, so you can I meant penetrate their defense. They can set up a wall, but swinging twice can clear 2 bodies as well. But at the same time, they could be quite spread wide with that board. So then you just really capitalize down the middle. Your opponent could.
I'm so
it capitalizes.
I'm a corporate company because we would get so much hate for all of this.
No, we wouldn't. We wouldn't get hate for this at all. People would love it, I'll be honest.
Can we have this at the start? Just me just saying, oh, you can penetrate as the opening, the introduction.
Huh?
really hooks the viewers in.
Really
What can I say? They do love a bit of penetration and spreading your opponents wide. What can I say?
And shooting your load through the middle. Yeah, of course.
Oh, Shed the Rising Dragon. Dragging these balls across your opponent's face as you swing forward twice.
Oh, I don't know if I'm keeping any of this in, but if you guys are watching, I hope you do not hate us because
all love, guys. All love.
Yeah, we love this.
All love. All love.
Yeah,
Anyway,
gaming.
back to this whole thing.
Should we do our reviews? Our stars.
Our stars for the Rising Dragon. I'm gonna start off with 10 out of 10. Not even on the.
We're doing it out of 5.
Doesn't matter. I'm rating it out of 10. It's so good. It needs double digits. I'm a Shen lover. Will always be a Shen lover. Gonna make a even bigger upgrade to this card and make him even more powerful and make him even stronger. And everyone will play with him and everyone will hail Shen as the Emperor.
Uh-huh.
Okay, I'm done. Next person.
2. No. I think it's a 4.5 or a 4 around that range.
Yeah.
Nice.
I agree with him. I understand. It's a good card. It's a good card at the end of the day. Like you can't really argue with this power. You have to deal with it immediately, or like you're taking too much.
Yeah.
Format.
There's no reason why you won't play him.
Yeah.
Like he is so versatile. Like you just would play him.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna put him at a 4 just because he's an odd number card. So.
Alright, everyone in the comments, put "we love odd numbers." That's what we need to put.
No, even rise up, evens up.
Even rise up. Okay.
We're gonna start some like rebellions and.
You have cults of odd and even.
Lots of odds and evens in the Discord.
What's your deck average number? Mine's exactly.
You can start
player.
How many 4 costs are you running? Get out!
Get out of here.
Yeah, no, but I think like he's just good. Like, why would you not play him? Maybe if we have more champions coming out, which we will, that might change the scene. But for now, like he's just too good to not want to play. And if you pair him up against Wen, like he is gonna defeat her any day. If he's the aggressor, that double attack, bye Wen, bye.
Not if I'm the pilot.
What?
No one for you.
I would reinforce or I would play a T-break. Just what I'm saying. Like,
So your one shot babe doesn't actually do anything, yeah? That's all I'm hearing.
So 1, it's not my one shot babe. 2, I'm just waiting until it's my turn and then I'm gonna like just absolutely penetrate your 7 defense on your Shen. You know?
Yes. But you don't want to be messing with my double swinging dragon. That's the deadliness. But anyway, I'm gonna wrap up the episode here because you guys are definitely tired of hearing us talk about dragons and swords and stuff. Anyway, next episode we're gonna have some slightly different cards. I'll probably be bringing these 2 clowns back with me. Maybe not. Maybe I'll be a weirdo and record all 3 segments by myself. So I hope you guys enjoy and catch out for the next one. Follow whatever. Thanks to Patreon people.
Yeah, thank you everyone on Patreon. If you've just skipped to the end, Wen is the best card in the game, along with Sword Recruit, because the Senji's amazing, Shen's really bad. So don't listen to anything else they've said. Yeah, if you skip to the end, that's all you need to know.
Wen's terrible. Love Shen. Shen lover. Thanks.
We love Shen. We love Shen. We love Shen.
We love Shen. We